Good evening. I am Nataraj. I am at IIT Bombay, and I'm just going to give you a short overview of the GPU Center of Excellence that we have set up at IIT Bombay. This GPU Center of Excellence is supported fully by NVIDIA, and I'll also try to give you a short overview of the Open Power Research Cluster that is also set up at IIT Bombay. So we received the award from NVIDIA Corporation in 2014 Jan. So almost 3 years ago, we received the award for setting up a Center of Excellence. At that time, it was called as CUDA Center of Excellence. Now it is called as GPU Center of Excellence. And the vision of the GPU Center of Excellence is to provide education, research, knowledge, and infrastructure in GPU computing across the country. So we would like to serve as a nodal point for all major GPU computing initiatives in the country. Basically, there are three of us who are managing the GPU center. Apart from me, Professor Patkar, who is from the electrical department, and Professor Shivagopalakrishnan from mechanical department are involved in management of this GPU Center of Excellence. I will go through the slides pretty quickly, but if you have any questions, you can interrupt me and ask me. So infrastructure at GPU Center of Excellence, that is at GCoE, is available to both internal and external community, academic and research community. So it is not just confined to users at IIT Bombay. We have opened it up to every user from across the country. We have K40 and K20 GPU cards. We also have recently acquired K80 cards, 4 of them. So they have been used, I mean the K40 and K20 cards have been used by quite a few users, including the people who participated in the National CUDA coding competition. So in the area of education and research, we have been trying to do a little bit. In the area of education, we have courses on high performance scientific computing, computer architecture, and parallelizing compilers. These are the courses that are floating in our campus. But apart from this, we have designed a template so that these courses could be adopted by other colleges, universities, and board of studies across the country. We are happy that over the last couple of years, several universities in our country have adopted the curriculum that we have suggested, and it has been integrated into the curriculum, and now the courses are also running. So apart from the curriculum, we are also working closely with NVIDIA, because NVIDIA is offering low-cost curriculum kits to give more insight to the students in the area of CUDA coding and other things. So apart from curriculum development, courses and so on, we are reaching out to all colleges and universities across the country in development of their HPC infrastructure. So this has happened over the last 3 years in all parts of the country. So we have tried to help colleges in the north, in the south, west, and east to develop HPC labs, and we've given our suggestions. And I'm happy to say that several colleges and institutes and universities have set up HPC labs based on the inputs that we have given to them. So we also offered several internships, projects. This is just a sample. So people have come from other colleges, for example, from Delhi, from Mumbai, from Vellore, and they have worked on very interesting projects. They have presented conference papers and posters at national and international conferences based on the work that they have done as interns at our institute in the area of HPC. There are more than 100 HPC focused professors at IIT Bombay, so there is a lot of scope for interns to work on multidisciplinary projects. You can see that there are projects on MRI, and there are projects on circuit simulation, there are projects on radar image processing, and so on and so forth. We also developed several libraries for LiDAR data processing, for object detection, for parallel finite element methods, and for global optimization, that is mathematical optimization. Some of these libraries are available, and some are still under development, means version, and the next versions are going to be released soon. So the next few slides, starting with this slide, I'm just going to show you the kind of GPU based research work that is going on. There are many research projects based on GPU computing which are going on at our institute. So this is not at all an exhaustive thing. You can see some very exciting things like tsunami simulation, climate studies, and so on are going on. And the GCoE is very happy to provide infrastructure support and other kinds of support for faculty and students who are working on these topics. The other manner in which we are reaching out to universities and colleges across the country is by organizing meetups and workshops at several places to encourage the academic community, especially to get into the area of GPU computing. So we have conducted faculty development programs, we have conducted workshops, and we have organized meetups. Meetups are different from workshops in the sense in meetups it will be a meeting where only the top management people come to the meeting, like principals and the deans and HODs, and then we see how we can work together, what needs to be done. So we have done such meetups in Andhra, in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu, in Rajasthan, and so on. And we conducted many workshops in the area of GPU computing. So the nature of the workshops also has changed over the last couple of years. In the first year, after the CCO was born, in the first year we conducted a GPU programming and application workshop, 6 of them. I think 2-3 of them at IIT Bombay, couple of them in IIT Madras, and one or two at IIT Guwahati. 6 GPU mega workshops in which we had several hundred participants. And the next year we changed. We tried to reach out to tier 2 colleges and universities so that the branching effect will be much better. And in this year, in 2016, we all our workshops free of charge, no charge to anyone. So nobody, no student, no faculty has to pay anything. And I think overall we have trained around 3,000 people, students, faculty, and people from industry, from research organizations in the area of GPU computing. So the last 3 years, I'm happy to say that we have familiarized at least around 3,000 scientists and engineers, students, young students, first year students to senior researchers. They have participated in our workshops. So now the current avatar of our workshops is like this. We do mostly one-day workshops in which, the basic aim of these workshops is to familiarize people. So there is a big community, MATLAB community is there in our country. Many students, many faculty members across the country are already fairly familiar with MATLAB. I'm sure all of you have heard of this programming language called MATLAB, programming environment. So I teach parallel MATLAB because not many people are familiar with parallel MATLAB. So with very little effort, you can execute your MATLAB code on GPUs You don't need to do any, don't need to learn any OpenACC or any CUDA language. You can almost, with very little effort, you can almost convert your serial MATLAB code into parallel MATLAB code and get quite good speed ups. For example, FFT code, you could get up to 600, 800 times speed up with 5 million data elements. That kind of speed up you can get. So my session is followed by a session on CUDA programming, where one of our team members, who has been a pro in this field for about 6-7 years, he gives how to get started with CUDA. And then lastly, my senior manager, he is sitting here, Pramod, he talks about embedded supercomputing using this Jetson TK1. So there is a lot of interest in embedded supercomputing because practically every college has got a department of electronics and electrical engineering. So there is always a good group of people who are interested in learning the latest in embedded systems, embedded computing, embedded control. So we familiarize them with this Jetson TK1, and we have uploaded on YouTube also some videos on how to get started, basically how to unbox starting from that, and how to get started with Jetson TK1. So, and we are also loaning out Jetson TK1 to some research groups so that they can get started without making any investment in embedded supercomputing. This is about the one-day workshop, but also the intermediate level and advanced level, the CUDA group goes and does some workshop. For example, at NIT Trichy and other places, I request some of our doctoral students to go and give more intense or more advanced training on CUDA programming. I am supposed to do the MATLAB part, but because of lack of time, unfortunately, I could not keep up to this commitment. That is, an intermediate or advanced workshop on parallel MATLAB is also of high interest, but because of our other commitments, we could not meet that. Anyway, we have been trying this, and I think because the National Supercomputing Mission, as you might have heard, NSM, has rolled out, and this active kind of training programs, workshops, boot camps, they will be done in a more intense way by many more institutes, not just by GCoE, but by other institutes, other IITs, other IIITs, NITs. They will also be helping us in doing these workshops. We are hoping that around 20 workshops per year at least will be conducted. This will be now, I think, announced in Jan 2017, because NSM, as you know, is it's got a life of at least 7 years, and out of that 1 year is over. So we are looking at 6 years. It has got a future of at least 6 years, and as a part of that, all these HPC related activities, deep learning activities, whatever you have been learning here or you have been hearing and seeing here in this GTC X India conference, you will see that happening on a bigger scale, I'm sure, in the coming few years. We have a lot of exciting things because I'm also a member of this NSM committee. You'll find that this high performance computing, deep learning, embedded supercomputing, what have you, in the area of supercomputing will all get a big boost from the government of India. So we're looking forward to having many of you on board in those activities, and I'll just conclude these things about what we have been doing. So this is the infrastructure that is there, very basic infrastructure. It's not something that you can boast of, but the important thing is that it is good enough for most people to at least, at the entry level at least, to use these facilities. And after trying out whatever they want to, then they can see if they can take this to their management and get some special infrastructure themselves. So we have opened up our infrastructure totally 24/7, free of charge. Any person from anywhere in India can ask for a login and password and access our facilities. So 2/3 of our users are from outside IIT Mumbai, and currently I think we have around 150 to 200 users of our very modest infrastructure. The Jetson TK1 embedded supercomputing kits, they have been provided to various student teams and they have been used very successfully. Our team from IIT Bombay, I think, got the silver medal in the US just a few months back in autonomous vehicle competition. So that is one, and there is another team which has been using this in autonomous, another team also has been using this. So this is the software infrastructure that is loaded there. Basically it is done by a small group of just 2 people. They are managing this, and one of them has now gone to the US as a system administrator based on the experience. So we are left with one system administrator, and that person is taking care of this GCoE infrastructure as well as the next one which I will be talking about, open power research infrastructure. So this is showing you some statistics. 150 active users. On paper we have around 300, but 150 approximately are active. As you can see, 2/3 of them are from outside. And we are having some future plans. We have a lot more, especially with all this buzz about deep learning. So we would like to go for something like Pascal based system. So how to access, if anyone is interested in accessing this slide, all these slides are going to be made available. The videos are also going to be made available through your registration link. So you can look at this, you can request for access, and as long as it's for no profit usage, it is absolutely free. So you can schedule your jobs using this. The other one is a very recent one comparatively. It's the Open Power Research Cluster. You might have heard of this Open Power Research Foundation, which now has grown to a size of around 250 organizations. IBM, NVIDIA, Google, Samsung, Altera, Xilinx, and so on, Ubuntu. They all come together and form this Open Power Foundation. So I'm going to talk about the Open Power Academic Discussion Group and Open Power Research Group. So the basic difference, as I understand, is that even at the chip level, the architecture is open to all of us. We are from the academic community. We are familiar with free and open source software effort, but the hardware part is still not very open. I'm talking about the chip level, what is inside the chip, what is the architecture and so on, that is not open. However, a couple of years ago, this Power 8 architecture has been opened up and all of us can see what is there inside. And the Open Power Foundation is all about openness. Power is the name of that power chip, Power 8, and now shortly I think Power 9 will be there. So we have set up a very basic research cluster at IIT Bombay. NVIDIA is also part of this Open Power Foundation. So NVIDIA, IBM, and Mellanox and other companies are together in this Open Power Foundation. So it has been set up with support from Open Power Foundation and the OPRC, and it is a part of the IBM Shared University Research Grant that we got. You can use this for your education and research activities. So it is kind of now complementing the GCoE. This is another complementary facility. It is to encourage, support education, research, innovation by providing you all access to the latest available hardware and software. The inauguration was done on 18th of August at IIT Bombay, and this is the infrastructure, hardware infrastructure that we have. We are hopefully going to add a lot more in the coming months. This is the software that is there. So it is just kind of started, and surprisingly, I think almost all the users are from outside IIT Bombay. They are from IIT Madras, IIT Roorkee, and so on. And there are 7 users, 6 are researchers, 1 is an academician, and couple of them are our own PhD students. Apart from that, I think mostly it is being used. So this is the infrastructure and support provided by all these companies. We thank them for providing us the support for Open Power Research Foundation. Yeah, I would like to, this is regarding the formal part of my talk. I would just like to tell you a bit more about the National Supercomputing Mission, because that our activities and this conference and NSM's objectives are very well aligned. I don't know how many of you are familiar with NSM. How many of you are familiar with NSM? Okay. So for the rest, it is a major initiative undertaken by Government of India. Actually, surprisingly, this initiative was there on the table, I think for the last 10, 12 years or so. But with the new, set of enthusiasts, so this has rolled out now. Our Prime Minister has had declared this open last year, and around 4,500 crores has been earmarked for this National Supercomputing Mission. It's basically to take our country forward in the area of high performance computing, very simple objective, simply stated objective, and take it in all possible ways. Like we should also be able to make in India our own supercomputers. That is also a very important thing. And training the manpower, we require approximately at least 20,000 people who are proficient in programming and also in administration and so on. Because if you have supercomputer, you should also have people who can do the system administration and take care of all that. And programming is also another thing. Then R&D, applications, 10 to 12 areas have been identified as the thrust areas for supercomputing. You can see that biology, because one of the previous speakers had talked about cancer and medical imaging. So that's a very important area, bioinformatics, that is one area. Another area is computational fluid dynamics. So there are about 10, 12 areas which have been identified as thrust areas. And if you are from the academic community and you are interested in getting some funded projects, then I think there will be a call for project proposals very soon, so you can submit them and you can get them funded. And those who are in deep learning and machine learning also definitely, that is also one of the areas that has been identified as a thrust area. So you can develop your group, you can develop the infrastructure, and you can also publish research papers and take the country generally forward in the area of supercomputing. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. Any questions? Anyone would ask any questions? Yes, please. Mic is.
Yeah, hello. So is like CDAC the collaborating agency for the...
Two regarding NSM?
Yeah.
So CDAC and IIT Bangalore, they are the drivers.
Okay. So is like, would we also be commissioning, like, is there a target to kind of build these many petaflop machine or?
Yes, very specific things. Today as I am speaking, all these people have gone to CDAC Pune. There is a call sent out to the vendors. That is one, but just couple of machines only right now in phase 1. Yeah, we are going to make our own supercomputers. Yeah, that is there. I think around 70 supercomputers overall, out of which a particular number, a sizable number under Make in India, it will be made in India by CDAC and other organizations. So a good R&D team, eminent researchers who are specialists in different areas like networking, thermal, that cooling part, and also they have been identified. With their inputs, we will be making our own supercomputers.
Okay, thank you.